Hey folks, we are back and got another turn for you here. It's oh god, what turn is it? It's turn 24, and we got a bunch of gems from Utgard. Not a death basket, sadly. We have to craft him a bunch of stuff. So we're gonna be splitting the cost for an Astral Empower on one of our dudes, and then we're gonna be making a crystal coin for him. And yeah, he sent me some earth too, which he sent me this hammer, which is basically going to cover some of the earth gems he would have sent, which I think is okay. I think it'll come out about equivalent. We did some site searching with Walter, and Walter found us an enchanted gate, I believe, and isn't that what he found us? Yeah, an enchanted gate and a canyon of winds. So that's another plus 2 air income, which kicks us up to 6. So our air income now is actually very respectable. Pretty much thanks to Walter, because he found the Canyon of Wind here, and then here he found the Mirage and the Canyon of Wind. So, thank you very much, Walter. He's kind of made up for some of the problem that we had with not getting any air randoms. And before we get too much farther, we had our big battle here. And we can see he's got a fair amount of PD, which is what's giving him this heavy cav and this cataphract stuff. And we've got our zombie dragon, who of course takes a rather poorly aimed first shot. The cataphracts light him up, a few of them, but then they run past, which honestly is kind of fine. These guys with their falchions would hurt a good bit. So I'm kind of fine with them running past. Okay, we've routed. That should route their front line. Yeah, they've routed now, so my archers are going to switch target fire. They're probably going to hit these dudes. Okay, these guys are going to rout. And now there's nobody near my dragon. He's squished the little militia, so he's gonna shoot. But unfortunately, he shoots very poorly. I have no idea what the fuck he was aiming at. There we go. That's what we want. Get us a rout. I think we got a couple more shots. No? Okay, not exactly ideal. And they're not shooting at my dragon, they're shooting back here, and we've had one of our squads retreat. We trade well, you know, we trade well with these guys in archer fire when we outnumber them. When we don't, lightly armored crossbows do not do very well against composite bows. And now we're trampling, and we're pretty low on HP. From the cav charge, from fighting for a while, from a little bit of the banishment, we're at 120. And I'm hoping they will rout. And we've got a fair amount on our side, and they don't have much, but we're getting kind of low. And we get hit with the smite here, and that knocks us down to 80. And we're eating a few more lance charges. And we're down to 50. And they have started to run. Okay, the armies of Tartary have routed. We're at 50. Hopefully we don't take any more hits on the way out. And that, my friends, is cutting it very close. That is cutting it extremely close. And I told you guys last episode he may die. And God, he could have. If we took more of that heavy cav charge, he'd be probably dead. Now, if he took more of the heavy cav charge, it would have been less on these guys. But that could have been really bad. And, you know, if you think about it, we preached up the Dominion, and we preached up the Dominion in that province that we were at before, so that we would have the absolute tippy-top most HP when we ran in there, and it may have mattered. It may have been the difference between him living and dying. So, anyway, glad we did that. Well, one second. Let's look at the the ledger here. We lost 60 Rangers, and this is going to bring me to one of the points, which is we're going to switch out of Ranger production now. We're going to switch over. The thing is, when you're using infantry with Ulm, when possible, if you're using Rangers, you want to use the infantry of Ulm, because your Rangers will cut to pieces your Zweihanders. As we phase out, though, but the infantry of Ulm aren't that great on their own. So we're going to switch to Zweihanders pretty much exclusively in our forts. It's going to save us money because we're not going to be able to make as many, which is going to suck. But these guys buffed with Legions of Steel are going to be almost immune. Not immune, but they are going to be highly resistant to everything Tartary's doing right now. So that's going to be the plan. And we're also going to keep making Ghoul Guardians. So we just have to be very careful about not mixing these guys and our Ghoul Guardians with our Rangers, because our Rangers will pick these guys to pieces. But that's because they have armor-piercing attacks. If it's the composite bows, which do not have armor-piercing attacks, are going to do diddly. So, anyway. That is what we're doing. That is what we're doing. We've got a few more battles here. We raid this island. There's just one guy here. Probably should have raided it sooner. He attacks us here with a reasonably large force. And what he's doing now is hold an attack, which is usually 2 volleys, and then they charge in. And we have to come up with adequate counters to this. And I think what we're going to do... So one thing is we're going to attack them here. And we're going to have this guy on Legions of Steel retreat. We're going to have this guy on hold and attack... Hold and attack rear. And this will be just that they're shooting. I think we're going to do hold and attack closest. I kind of want these guys to stay together. Put him in here so that he probably gets Legions of Steel right in the middle. And I don't actually know. I went and tested this a little bit, and these guys absolutely wreck horses. Though if they have priests, or a lot of priests, we could be in a little bit of trouble. I don't actually know if I need these dudes. I think these dudes are kind of dead weight, actually. So I think the guys coming over here, Lothar and Tulka. Lothar. Okay, Lothar's coming over here. I think what we're going to do... I like to be in range of them when the charge hits, because there's a very good chance he's just going to try to hit my weak spots. And I think we're going to have this guy retreat. And we're going to have these guys on hold and fire closest. And yeah, this guy's just going to preach here. The good news is here we have really good PD. Jade Amazons are phenomenal PD. Or not, I mean, I don't know if phenomenal is the right word, but they're good. I mean, these guys are solid. They've got shields. They've got pretty high attack, pretty high defense scores. They're just solid. They're not amazing, but they're solid. And they should tear these guys up in melee. Especially when they're coming in this light line, and then we're going to be kind of clustered up in the middle. Having these guys here, I think it's going to be pretty brutal. But I haven't tested it or anything. It's just kind of my intuition. So we're going to be jumping in, hitting this. The good news is this province, like I was saying, is really good. It's 20k pop. Once we get the unrest out, it's going to be like easily 200 gold a turn. I mean, it's going to be equivalent to this province, which is 250 once we get it forted. So that's really good. We need to get our Dominion in there and other stuff. We have a boatload of corpses. Unfortunately, all my commanders routed, and the only commander who made it, which makes it even more nail-biting that he almost died at the end, The only commander who made it was Mr. Wiggles. So we're gonna bring in some more commanders and form this back up. And I think Tartary's completely boned now. I mean, they were kind of boned when I took their capital, but they've been making a resurgence. There's a few things that have happened. One thing is I'm pretty sure they've sold all their gems, so they don't have any more of the family heirlooms to sell. The second thing is we have now taken their highest value province from them, and we've also cut the income off from these if he doesn't have a Khan over here. And he may have a Khan, but if he doesn't, we've effectively cut the income off from these. What kind of PD? Oh, I have shitty PD here. That's too bad. This is mostly defenders. And this is a cave province too with Bakemono. So I'm not 100% sure what we do there. I'd like to go ahead and conquer the rest of this, but I've got to be careful. I want to get the contain going back on these guys. And right now they're probably income negative, if I had to guess. Taking this from them, this is their only good province left. And if we take this, they're completely hosed. I thought about taking my dragon and this army and collapsing on this position. Because if I take this, they're definitely going to be income negative. And then they're going to be out of gems. And then they're really out of the game. But the thing I really want to do with and I think that may be the best move, but what I really want to do with the dragon is make a skull staff. And they were fortunate enough to leave us a lab here. There's also a starlit pond. And this lab is going to allow us to make the skull staff. And the skull staff is going to self-replicate because we can put it on a death random fortune teller who we're getting another fortune teller this turn. Hopefully it's a death random. We've only had one death random so far, but we haven't rolled that many. And yeah, so anyway, we're going to be able to make a couple skull staffs, and then we can start turning these into skull mentors. And there's a lot better things to use death gems on later, but for right now, when our research sucks and we have a ton of gems, skull mentors are the thing to do until we can unlock better ways to spend our death gems. And yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I was looking at it, they're 14 research a pop, and like, let's say we turn 100 gems into them, that's going to be, it's going to be basically 10 of them. That's going to be 140 research. So that would be like 50% more research than we currently have. So that's a kind of big deal. Kind of big deal, or more than that. I mean, it'd be almost double our current research rate. So we want to get on that. Ideally, I get 2 death randoms and I make 2 per turn until we spend about 100 gems on it. I would like to have thugs and stuff, which we'll see. If I can, I want to hit construction 6, but if I can't wrap up Tartary efficiently with what I currently have, I'm going to have to make a play up Conjuration, which will be annoying, but such is the world we live in. And I think I spent all my stuff, yeah. Still no sign of relay. The Shamblers, I guess, are going to go take his thing underwater. The other thing I considered for this turn was these guys could potentially come sit on top of his cap. Now, if they do, they're going to bump into this party, which is basically going to do the Legions of Steel on the Ghoul Guardians. And if they do that, they're going to die. If the fight takes place over here, we'll have to do it with them and their PD. If it takes place over here, I'm going to have some backup in terms of people patrolling. I do not want to mix my crossbows with my main dudes because my experience is they're just going to kill my Zweihanders and my Ghoul Guardians. This is the province I'm most worried about. I'm not sure. I'm not confident we'll win this fight. I think we will, but I'm not confident. The wolves are going to be nice for getting rid of some of the lance charges and generally disrupting their formation and things, but they also are going to contribute to an HP route on my side. So it's something I got to be careful how many wolves I bring, and that's one of the things that's nice about bringing these infantry, is that I think it changes the HP ratio so that even if the wolves all die or rout, it's going to be less likely to mess with us. So that's good. We've got basically both the provinces. This guy can go aggressively covered. We're going to have this sorted out. We're going to have our skull staff forged, at which point I can go and be aggressive with my dragon again. Speaking of being aggressive with my dragon again, we are making the dancing shield. And I had, for whatever reason, when the game had started, I had thought this was a construction 2 item. But it's not. It's a construction 4 item. And this is basically going to give us a 50% chance of blocking 20 damage, which in most cases is going to be blocking all damage. So it's going to make him twice as hard to kill, which is going to be very nice for when we YOLO really hard on top of these stacks. And it's also an argument for keeping him right here on top of this lab this turn so that I can stick this on him next turn. And I think we'll take the Bracer of Protection off, and I think we will put that on. I think I want to keep the Amulet of Missile Protection. That's going to be pretty helpful with all of the... He's going to be rolling with my crossbows. And once he's done, we may actually choose to just YOLO in here and try to take this out. But we'll see. We could also, if we're feeling particularly not manly, we could come back and backfill this. Or we could come over here and fly the dragon and hit this province. So we have quite a few moves, but I think we have and you know, we never know how it could have gone in other ways. Like maybe I took too much risk, and in a different universe it would have punished me. Maybe there was some way I could have played more aggressive after I took Tartary's cap and taken all of his stuff really quickly. I don't see it. My dragon was not going to be able to solo operate and raid into enemy dominion. And very quickly, after we took this first ring of provinces outside of his capital, there was a ton of stuff waiting for us. So I think we've played it about as well as we could. Though if you have ideas about what we should have done, make sure to let me know. It's obviously too late now to help, but this fort is coming up. We've got 2 months left. Oh, I should probably talk a little bit about what we're doing for the stuff for Utgard. We're empowering this guy in Astral. We're forging an Earth Boots here. Next turn, we're going to put the Earth Boots on this guy, and we're going to make a crystal coin. And then we're going to send the crystal coin to him, and we're going to start making our own hammer. So that's that. Sorry, I had to pause it real quick. But for you, it was a blink of an eye. Yeah, okay, so we're making the Earth Boots, and then we make the crystal coin, and then we come back with our Earth Boots, and we're going to make ourselves a hammer, etc., for a few turns, and that will be very nice for us. And then we'll have to send him his hammer back at some point. This is our first turn using the hammer, so we get to do this, we get to do the crystal coin, then I get 2 more afterwards. For which we'll use to make our own hammers. And then we're going to have alco production going. Sadly, I'm not going to be able to use it on my Skull Mentors, because my Skull Mentors, they take 2 hands to make with the Skull Staff. So those will not be free, not until we get vampire counts anyway. Speaking of vampire counts, we're getting our blood economy going. Hitting construction 4 is also the trigger for being able to make sanguine dowsing rods. So we're making a bunch of sanguine dowsing rods, which these guys are going to use. I probably need to think, and this is probably good I came in here and talked about it. I probably need to think about... We could turn that on too. I probably need to think... Do I want to have this guy leading wolves with that low morale? Maybe not. We're a little low on money, guys. I need to think about having another patroller here, but I think this is going to have to... This is going to have to do. We're going to waste one of these guys' turns, but I am going to bring... I think I need to transfer some more idiots to this front. And then I think I need to bring some of these idiots down here. And we're going to have to increase the patrol levels, because unrest is a little high. And yeah, we're going to need all of the unrest reduction we can get. That will be fine. And we're going to go ahead. I think we're going to give these guys double imp castings. Just to make... If somebody comes and raids me, this is a kind of shitty PD type. And I just want to make it as difficult as possible. This is going to be 20 imps a go, so it's going to be 40 imps total. That will put a herding... Along with the wolves, it's going to be just a bunch of chaff that will hopefully deal with whatever comes and messes with me. There's other ways to do this that are probably better. Like I could script up a Sabbath and then do way more, but I think this is going to be okay. I had also made some preachers last turn, and I'm going to send them around. Wait, where is this guy? Oh, he's going here to here. It's kind of weird because the map isn't connected properly. So anyway, he wants to go to this province where we're going to preach it down. This guy's going to come here, and I'm going to have these two guys just running around wherever I've got, because we've had some events that had a change of dominion or something. So wherever I don't have my candles in my empire, I'm just going to send these little idiots, and they're going to go preach things. And it's nice, because you always feel bad when you have a blacksmith preaching. This was my way to just say, like, I'm going to hard commit to having a few guys running around preaching. And I think that is about it. I would like to get more of these guys, but I can't afford it. I cannot afford it. But I think that is it. All right, boys. Anyways, I will see you next time. Cheers and good luck.